intuitive healing. I have no idea. But hey, that's something we could talk about.
Next dance we're going to do for you is called Jalama. And Jalama simply means welcome.
We're going to welcome you into our cultural circle here tonight.
Hey, g'day everybody. It's one of them days. Welcome to Gday Saturday. I'll just get my slides. Oh, So here we are again. Another week's gone by. Hope you all had a good week. G'day, Jules. We got Jules again today. How are you, Jules?
Yeah, Maluna.
Thanks for joining us. So this morning's been one of them mornings. We've been rushing around like a mad chook with its head cut off. And I hope you enjoyed that bit of a dance and music there we had there. If you noticed, I've played that actual tune before, but we've had younger fellas dancing to it. That was another mob. And what I'm going to do from now on is advertise my local mobs and what they do and all that and try and get them out there. And like I was saying, you've probably heard that tune before, but there are other fellas dancing to it. So we got a lot of songs and dances, but there's like a certain amount of basic ones that we do in community, and they're just done different, like different people do them, and because the way people are, they present a little different, that's all. So, all right. So how was your week, Jules? Mine was rush and Rushing around. I was rushing this week.
It was meh.
Yeah.
I survived. It wasn't a super difficult week, but it was an emotional week.
Mm.
It was an accident kind of week.
I ought to try and find my slides I got ready for all you lot this week. Oh yeah, I got some.
You didn't even notice that I changed my name on your
Oh, Jules of the Clumsy, yes. No, because I just rushed in here. Jules of the Clumsy, how you going? That's a noble name.
Yep, there's a story behind that.
There's a story behind the Oh, come on, you got to tell us. Do you want to tell us? You don't have to. You can just turn your face and we can see it.
I accidentally knocked myself in the face opening the cabinet at work the other day.
And Jules has been punching
Hit me
himself.
right on the jaw.
Oh, pardon me. Oh, what we can see the bruise. It's only you can't see it, but we can.
Well, I can only strain my eyes so far and twist my neck so far too.
Yeah.
But I know it's purple. I can feel it.
It is. All right. So what do we got for you this weekend? We have a little bit on Lions Rock. Lions Rock is it's a big rock in Sri Lanka, and what it used to be and what it is now are two different things. As usual, I like to tell you both sides. And I hope I don't get copyrighted because I've got a guy named Praveen Mohab, which I think you might have heard about, and I love him. He's a great guy, does really great research. And he's actually done the true story on Lions Rock. And we're going to take a look at it. We'll have a read at what mainstream people say, and then with a bit of luck, if I don't get kicked off, we can listen to what he says, because what he's got to say is more the truth, and it's more important.
To validate Praveen,
Yep.
he before he left us, so many of us were asking him, hey, have you, to the point I actually think he was trying to reach out to Praveen. I could be wrong. But
Yeah.
Praveen is been vetted by others.
Yeah, he's a good fella. I've been watching him since he was first started out, and he must have been really young because he's grown up since then. So I figured that when he started, he was pretty young. He's got the stuff his researchers over there in his country is amazing. And considering India is just above us, I thought we'd take a look at it because once before, in the old times when everything was joined together, we probably could have walked from here to there. So, and they have got similar, like some of their things are like ours. They're a very different culture to us. They've got more stuff than we had. Like they had gold jewelry and stuff like that. Like they were, I wouldn't call them more advanced because they just had more stuff what we have today. Like, they had technology as well. And fair income. If you haven't seen this Praveen guy, after I'll show it, you've got to go and watch his shows because he comes up with some really deadly stuff. So I got him, and I just got a mixture of little clips. I was just bored the other day, and I was looking around at all sorts of weird and wonderful things, and I just saved a whole heap of little clips that we can look at, and we can say, are they real? Are they not real? Wow, that was amazing. Just a hodgepodge of stuff. Nothing like last week. Last week was a pretty good show. Had some good stuff. So, yeah, I don't know what to go with. Do we go with Praveen first, or do we go with the strange stuff first, Jules? What are we going to go for first?
Your name's on the door.
Real laid-back show today, everybody, because one, I was late and I was rushing around. And I think one of our friends has a show on soon, so people are probably piling up for him. So, all right. Well, let's go with Lion Rock, and then I'll show you the weird stuff at the end. So I'll just pop up my slide to the left, slide to the right. Here we go. All right, Lion Rock. This will give you an idea of the place that we're looking at. And I don't know if we're getting any more visitors on the show today. I'll put out some invitations, but I don't know. A lot of people are busy. So here we have Lions Rock. Sigiriya is another name. Now, when you're looking at it, I want you to pay attention to actually what's there today, and we'll have a look at some older pictures of what used to be there. Now, they say it's line rock, but you've seen the pores on the first picture that I put up on the show screen. And to me, it looks like a lizard, and that looks like a snakehead.
It does. I was just looking at that thinking there's something that looks like giant something.
Yeah, it looks like a snakehead to me, but they call it Lions Rock.
Yeah, no, I totally see it. I see the eye and everything.
Yeah. So and down there, this side of the rock, you can see there's like brown. It looks like brown hard clay. They've plastered one side of the rock. And there used to be buildings on this rock, so we're going to have a better look. So there's the feet. That's why they call it Lions Rock, but they don't look like lion's claws to me. They look like
lizard. Look like dragons.
Yep.
Dragon, lizard.
Yep.
Reptile, Anunnaki.
I've looked after enough lizards to know what their feet look like.
Yeah. Do you ever Yama and Yalu?
No.
Do you ever see them or?
No, they'd be hibernating right now because it's winter. The neighbours did come and tell me during the summer that they saw Yama because he's quite big, and they saw him run around the complex because they all live up and down the complex. All our yards kind of joined together by a little fence. But yeah, they'd all be hibernating now. But I think about him all the time, Jules. Wonder how he is, and did I do the right thing by letting him go? Because they, when it comes to people, they're like dogs. They choose one person that they love and they stick to it. And I feel sometimes like, mate, did he feel like I threw him out the house? But he was a wild animal, and my whole intention was just to get him better and let him go. Yeah, I often think about him, Jules. Boo-hoo, I miss my lizard.
I mean this. When I say this, I mean this in an endearing way. Have you ever seen there's a movie, an old Disney movie from way back when, with Patrick Magoon, who would later go on in Braveheart, and he would be the evil king. But anyhow, the whole story is he's a veterinarian who's practicing, but he's ethical in his practice. But his little daughter has an asphyxiation for cats, and there's a cat that he basically loses his daughter over. But all the little kids always take their injured animals to the witch in the glen.
Oh yeah.
And then because there would be strange sounds, but they would come back and their critters would be mysteriously healed. But the sound from that they were hearing was actually a weaving loom. So that's why I say I mean this endearing, because you find all these critters that you're like they come to the witch in the glen to get better, and then they're mended, and then they go back.
Oh, that makes me feel better that I did my job right. All right, so I'm going to go back through these slides. I'm just showing you this is in the place. There are more. There's some doorways, like in this room here. They've cemented up doorways, so there were tunnels down inside into the rock. But obviously they've covered them in. So I'm going to go back through, because see these lines? See these lines down the rock? Now they're one or two things, either one for people to climb up, or there were buildings there where woods and stuff stuck out. I was hoping there was a bloke on the show joining me today, so he'd have a better idea whether it was a building thing. If you have a look at this picture on the floor at the right-hand side there, you can see like there's a bit of a hole, and then it gets shallower. Either something was there or it was used for water. Like you can tell they've pulled a lot down, and looks like there was a mural on the roof there. And if you also have a look, where's I flick around, you can see there's like plaster over the rock, and they've actually painted all over the plaster, like on the roof there. And on the back, you can see the bricks, and then there's plaster. So these people knew how to make buildings. They plastered them, put nice paintings on. But there's hardly any left compared to the original stuff. So there's them lines again. Like I said, were they made for climbing up, or was there actually a machinery or a building stuck there? Like, did woods come out of it? Kind of looks like a tractor mark, but it would have been something built in it.
It does look like tractor marks, but from the angle that it's positioned at and the depth of it makes me think that it could have possibly been stairs with like you were carrying something up. It looks bigger to me looking at this picture than I'm probably thinking it is, but it looks like there'd be at least 5 or 6 feet between it, and it looks like it's a 2-person lifting operation. Step, drop, step, 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 drop.
Yeah, I'd love to know what was there. Whatever it was, they actually made the marks in the rock to hide, like on purpose. They're on purpose marks. So there's a few more. And this one's interesting. See, at the top, it's got like a walkway. So you get up there and then you can walk that way or walk that way. And could that be in a building on the outside and they were the inside stairs? Like, your imagination goes wild trying to figure out what these things actually were. And we know they were dwellings. So these are the grounds. Like, the grounds are beautiful. I did hear a story that them squares were filled with water. So when enemies came, they wouldn't know and they'd fall in it. And I thought that was a really poor explanation, because if I was going to break into that place, you'd see the water. Of course you wouldn't go in it. It could be anything, alligators, crocodiles, whatever, if they got around that part of the world, snakes in those pits. I think they were more, the water was for healing and stuff. And if they were lizard people in any way, they'd need water because they'd like to sit in water.
It would be snakes in the pits. Raiders of the Lost Ark going through all those temples and being in the tomb of the pit of snakes.
This one reminds me of landing pads for flying machines. You land on the top and then you get out and you come down these stairs. That's what it reminded me of.
I can see that.
Little landing pads for your own personal flying machine. Like I said, the imagination can go wild. I doubt that was a building because it
was. Well, in that time, wouldn't you be flying around in a Vimana? Exactly.
Thank you, Jules. That's right. A Vimana, a small Vimana would fit on there. There's more of them lines. See up the back there? They're different, though. Like, look at the shape of them ones.
Maybe they're tribal rocks.
I don't know.
That was a joke, and you didn't laugh.
Oh, sorry. This is when I'd love to go back in time just for half an hour. I could pop back there for half an hour, check it out, tell you what was really there. Wouldn't that be good? There's more stairs.
Can you go back to that other slide? Maybe it's just me.
Hang on.
Or total pareidoia. When you zoom back out, because looking at that from like the angle that I'm sitting at, it kind of looks like a face sticking out of the grass. I can see the chin and I can see the nose and a flat forehead.
Is that rock in front?
Yeah.
Yeah,
to the left of the lady in the dress.
Yeah,
to the left.
Yeah, I can see that. It does. And that's something I haven't seen here, statues. Usually you got statues of animals or whoever's there or the people. There's no statues. Interesting. There's some more rocks on the way up. You've got to go all this way up. I've got more slides, don't worry. Look at those giant boulders, though. Like, it looks like they just built around them, or unless they were really big and they put them there. But it looks like they built around them. And you've got to be aware of the modern day building, because as we know, they get to a site, they pick everything up, and they put it together in our way of building. and tell you that's what it looked like, and it's not true. So I haven't got a slide of this, but in the middle there, see that big wall as they're walking up, and they're walking past that big wall in the middle there, that sandy brown thing. On the other side of that wall, it is so polished, it's like a mirror. So I imagine that wall went all the way across where they're walking, and it was like a hallway, and it was all mirrored on one side. That's what's left of it. So here's the stairs. I'm going to show you pictures of what people thought that it looked like, and it's obviously been ripped down and stripped. Remember the plaster, that middle bit where the stairs are, them walls would have been full of that nice plaster stuff with pictures on it probably, or it all would have been white or something. So Mr. Praveen will tell you a bit more about it when I get to his thing. So, all right, I've got another set of slides here. Oh, we're going backwards. Hang on. Just, what am I doing? What a slack show we have for you today. All right, so there's an older picture of the grounds, and there were like terraces, and there's pools of water and all sorts of things. It would have been a really beautiful place. So there's another old picture. See, there's more of them tracks up there, Jules. That one looks like that could have been a building or have machinery on it, because you can see the marks in the rock.
Yeah.
So a building, and there's little stairs going up there on the left-hand side.
What I'm thinking is a whole other can of worms to open up.
Tell us what you're thinking.
All right. With seeing these track marks and everything, what if those were actual tracks and there were machinery that moved up and down those tracks? What if this is so far way back ancient that the Anunnaki slaves are the ones who were doing that?
Oh, could be right there.
Far out there theory.
We're open for discussion because no one quite knows.
Because, and I say that because the way that those rocks are indented, it brings to my mind the speculation. Okay, how old is that? Comparing that to the only other thing that I know that's old are the pyramids, and they're built so perfectly. Looking at that, if that is made, somebody with advanced knowledge had to come in and crack it and chip at that rock just precise to get some kind of equipment or machinery to operate.
Yep.
So that's why I say it opens up another can of worms, because it seems like that's even more ancient than the pyramid.
Oh, I never thought of that, Jules. Yeah, I don't think like that. I just see something interesting. Go, wow, look at that. They had technology. That's why I like other minds jumping in, because we can broaden it. If I had a week to think about it, I'd probably think about all that stuff, but I only did it yesterday. Well, actually, I found some pictures during the week, but I only put it together yesterday. But yeah, it's they've removed stuff. Yeah, those little lines, it does. I think a machine did put them in, but who knows?
I mean, now you're understanding my thought that, okay, that they look from the picture, they look so smooth and intricate, and there's no way those could have been made with a so-called chicken bone.
No. Bronze tools. This is way older. What did they have? Yeah, they had technology, crystalline technology. Because, you know, when we were kids and they got the crystal and the wires and they made a radio, right? I remember looking at it going, wow, how easy is it to make a radio? And then all of a sudden everything got complicated, and I got a feeling if we went back to the basic crystal and radio kind of theme and used crystalline technology, we'd be surprised. King says, looks like stairs carved in the rock going up. So I've got to do this.
Yeah, you want to, hey, Kings, and I see Joe's here. Robert Ellis said, if you're still awake, love you, bro. And anybody else that I might have missed? Again, I apologize. I'm a lazy friend. I don't have my phone in the same room. Hi, Sean.
Thanks for dropping in. And anytime someone wants to comment, because sometimes I know people get on a show and they see stuff and they know a lot about it, but they're stuck in the chat room. And at my show, if you're like that and you got knowledge on what we're showing, you're so welcome to jump in and tell us. You just got to let me know that you want to do it, and I'll give you the thing to jump in, because nobody knows everything. All right, so inside this place are pictures. Now, the reason these pictures are fucking special is because if you have a look, they're different colour beings. We've got a green being, this golden, reddy coloured person. There's the green one there on the left. I've got a better picture of her, I think. And there's the plaster again. You can see how the plasters fell off and the rocks behind it, and they've plastered all over, which we do. We plaster. Like, nothing really amazes me, really, because I know the plastering technique. So here we've got some of the faces have been ripped down on this one. Hang on, I'll do this one bigger up. So apparently these are all on the inside. And again, you can see a big hunk of plaster come out at the top there. Well, basically, it's another form of rock that they've smoothed over the original rock. I call it plaster. It's not really plaster, right? If we could analyse what they used for buildings back then, and I know there's been talks going around that there's some kind of polymer, which I believe, given the stuff we have today. But them buildings lasted better than the ones we got. Way better. And we could take a leaf out of their book. So there's the green lady. And as you can see, they've all got different toned skins. This is the green lady. Oh, and that's what I meant to do. I meant to get, there's a little article about 2 green children that they found back in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, I remember the green.
And they found 2 green children, and they got lost and ended up here, and they went down through a tunnel, so they could have come from underground or somewhere else. One of them died. They were a brother and sister. One of the kids died, the little boy, but the girl, she stayed, she ate our food and ended up looking like us, so her skin wasn't green anymore. So when I saw this and saw the green lady, I thought, yep, that's plausible, because there's so many stories of green people.
Well, isn't that due to some kind of vitamin deficiency?
I think it's a different light, and or that they're actually what people call the lizard people. They got the reptilian kind, like they'd be a bit green, maybe because of that. I know I'm not. No one
off a boat.
I don't think anyone alive today can tell you 100% about these old things, because it was a long time ago. Unless there's someone out there holding a bag of all the knowledge and they're just keeping it to themselves because they know the truth. We can only piece the truth together.
Well, of course that's happening.
So here's an image of a white lion's head, that someone suggested that this is what it could have been. I don't think so, because I know it's not a lion. Then it's been stripped. And you can tell it's not real. Look at the nails on the stripped part, and there's no proper nails on that. Oh, is there? Let's have a bit of a look.
So can I throw out a question, or just let me throw this out there?
Jump in.
What if it's not a lion, it's not a dragon, it's something in between, like a griffin?
And quite possible. Oh, that's a good point, King. King said in the chat room, beneath the plaster layer there could be found even more older paintings from people that had inhabited the area before. That's possibly true. And it looks like a dragon, Robert. Yeah.
I was just throwing that out there because I was thinking of a griffin, but I totally think it's a dragon.
Yeah. So it's not. We know it's not a lion. And on the top picture, you can see the pool of water. There's a big swimming pool. They reckon the water it's naturally piped into there by, how can I explain that? So inside the rock there must be water running already, and they've sourced that. I encourage you, if you want to know more, please do go and research this more, because it's very interesting. All right, what have we got here? There's another picture, a drawing here. I'll pop that up bigger. Someone did a sketch, people walking through the middle. Now, see at this head, see how it goes to the left, and it's actually a building, and there's buildings on top. All that's gone now, because there ain't no buildings on top now. And there's another suggestion, same thing, you walk through the dragon, whatever. A dragon actually still is a lizard, by the way. And you go up the stairs.
Do you remember me a few months ago when I was telling you about the book that I was just a page turner for me? The Secret of Time. So throughout the book, basically, it's focusing on the symbology of good and evil, and throughout history from ancient times, it's symbolism of the dragon being a bird, showing up on the royal the royal crest of all these ancient families. They have dragons on their coat of arms.
Well, you know, I'm starting to think now, because remember last week when we did Alexander the Great, King Alexander? His dad was a dragon, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's more to this. There's a race of people with dragon blood, lizard blood, obviously. They all were the rulers. Sounds like a conspiracy theory.
I want the shirt. I'm a conspiracy theorist. My pronouns are told you so.
And here's another version of what people thought it would look like. I don't know if this is real, because look, the trees look real. Like there's buildings on top. I don't know if that's a real picture. I didn't think it was when I first looked at it, but who knows?
There's something about it that doesn't seem right. Maybe it's the face of the cat that seems too much like a domesticated cat as a model. I don't know. Something doesn't feel right about it.
Something. And I've got a photo coming up. There's not, yeah, the buildings. Wait till you see this. So that was a bit funny. There we are. Check this out. Before, after. Before, after. Look at before. It had buildings on top, and all the sides were covered with buildings. So
unless that's one huge amount of moss.
But if you have a look at the side of that building and you look at the side of the rock, what's left now, you can see, you know, that's what I think those little marks were, where they held the wood in. I don't know. Now you get what I was trying to say. But I found that, and I couldn't find that picture by itself. I only found it like this. And when I saw it with the buildings on the side, I knew we were on the right track with our conspiratorial minds. But that one blew me away.
I wouldn't necessarily say conspiratorial. I mean, forever questioning minds.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I'll put this up for King. King said they had that, and the Egyptians had the Sphinx. Something was up. So we have, yeah, because that was supposed to be lion rock, and the Sphinx is supposed to be like have lion hands. Yeah, there is something up there, because that still looks
So I don't know what it is about the energy flowing, but I just had a realization.
Mm-hmm.
The royal coat of arms happens to have the dragon,
mm-hmm.
and it also has the lion.
Yeah, it does. Does, and I like cats and lizards. I think that's all. Yeah, they're the only. All I've got the slides. We'll just go back through them, so you get the idea. The idea of what I'm saying. And I agree, King. There is much more to this, and there's caves in them. There, that rock there, not caves.
Thank you for that thought, King. That just popped in. Like, where'd that come from? But it actually came from you. You sparked it out of me.
That kind of shows you the buildings on the outside. So they've stripped all the buildings from the outside. So they didn't want us to know people actually lived up there, and it was right. They would have had their own food, water, everything. It would have been a paradise. These were the people that lived in it, and it looks like it was mostly females, and they looked happy. They got, look at the herbs they got. That lily, the lily that she's holding on the left hand side, I bet you that was because we know that water lilies have certain properties. And these red cloud things, I don't know what they were. She's sitting on a red cloud thing. She's holding up a plant. So when any old picture has a plant, they're telling you it's a significance. That plant's of significance. She was a very red person, that one. So there you go, people. We'll go back to this one. I'll just show you again. Our Lion's Rock, which looks like a lizard, which now we say agree it's a dragon rock. And it would have been so beautiful left naturally, like. So the buildings, there's a little bit of a building up there. See in the middle, towards the left in the middle, there's a little bit of structure up there. I'll pop this up a bit bigger. Where they're walking, you go up the top there. They've left a bit in. So there we go. From what I imagine, you would have been able to walk around it. There would have been buildings, and you would have had to access them. They didn't look accessible from the outside. So maybe you accessed them from the inside. There were inner tunnels, and the gardens were absolutely beautiful. And I still think they were platforms for Vimanas, or they were sunbathing platforms for the dragons. And I doubt they put plants up there like we would today. And all that water, look, all them little square things would have been full of water. Apparently the water system, they could drain it and fill it up so they could flood and empty whatever they want. So they had technology, and some sort of technology there. And there's them things again. See that one in the middle up the top? It looks like you walk that way. It's nice and smooth. That could have been the inside of the building, like I was saying. So it's up to your imagination, people. All I know is it was beautiful once. It would have been so beautiful. So that's on the side of the wall. That's on the back of the stairs where the actual big head would have been originally. So, all right then. So that's that kid. That's
I had to. I don't want to say it and get you misinformation or copyrighted or anything or banned or anything like that. So what I had to say, I dropped it in chat because
did you? Okay.
I think it's a truth bomb.
All right, we can put it up silently. I noticed if you put things up silently, you can kind of get away with them. Kind of. All right, so I'm just looking for, what have we got now? Gee, I've only been doing it half an hour. I showed you everything I've got. No, I've got a bit more stuff. Hang on. I'm disorganized today, people.
All these little synchronicities with our topics pop up at random times, unplanned events. Like tonight, for instance. I mean, this literally was off the cuff. I got nothing. How was your week? And next thing you know, we're here with you guys, which is lovely. But I've seen recent episodes of that show that I talk about, The Midnight Ride, where everything that we're talking about here, they're tying it with scripture. The whole reptilian, Anunnaki, everything they're reading straight from the Bible, comparing it with historical manuscripts and proving such things that history has not told us are clearly there if we're open to it.
Oh, pardon me.
And the actual reptilian line does exist.
Yes, it does. In what form? We're not, it could be 100% form, could be only 10% form, but it's out there. All right, so I found this. This is 6 verses from Lions Rock with a story to tell. Cigaria, they call it Cigaria. From there, you can see where the buildings were on the side once. All right. So we're going to have a look at this. I'll just go through this. And like I said, we'll get Praveen's side of it, Mr. Praveen, because he's got the truth. And who would know more than someone that, it's not far from where he lives. So I'll read this out to you. Cigaria is best known as an ancient rock fortress built by the parricide king Cassiapa, and I'm probably butchering these names as usual, more than 1,000 years ago. It doesn't seem that old. Look, it's only a couple of thousand years old. The palace built on its summit once had at its entrance the figure of a gigantic lion whose colossal paws are still visible. Cigaria takes its name from this feature, for it literally means lion rock. The majestic lion figure, sedent like the Sphinx. There you go, King. See, evoked age-old notions of royal authority and the descendant of the Sinhales, kings from a lion. And there you go, Jules. Our spirits know the truth. That's what I've come to realise. Our raw spirit knows all the truth, and it filters through to the outside which we live in today, trying to tell us this is the right stuff. This is the truth. This is the truth. It's a pity we don't listen to ourselves more. Okay, so reconstruction of the Cigaria lion entrance and palace. See, again, that's what they reckon it looked like. Who knows? I went there, and there's symbols on the side. Look at all the symbols. So all that rock was plastered over, and we had paintings on it. That's what they're saying. All right. And there were writings, obviously. The lion sculpture survived the centuries and was well preserved until at least the 9th century, when we come across a reference to the Lion Lord in a poem at that period. The poet tells us that he saw the Saihimya, or Lion Lord, of Sigharigiri, sorry, which so impressed him that he had no desire to look up the golden complexion damsel on the cliff. Complexion. I'm not functioning today, people. It is cold, and I don't function in the cold.
It's all right. I haven't functioned well all week.
And I'm not the only one, because when I was out earlier, other people were telling me the same thing. I just laughed and went,
yeah, I was emotionally battled and physically beat up.
Furniture's paying your back.
I know, and what did I ever do to that cabinet except open it 10 times?
Remember that time you kicked the cupboard, it told the cabinet and paid you back? What is it? Our poet here was referring not to a woman of flesh, but to a painting on the rock wall, one of the numerous frescoes of beautiful women that a local Da Vinci painted a long time ago. His poem is one of over 600 such graffitis inscribed on the mirrored wall of Cigaria, dated to the 8th to the 10th century, 8th to 10th century. The poets, drawn from all walks of life, had some unusual names like Agboy, Maili Boy, Tindi Kasab, Vajur Mihind, and Galagombu Mittal. I'm probably butchering these names. Rather strange sounding to modernese, definitely strange sounding. So that mirrored wall I was telling you about, that we didn't see from the inside, we only saw from the outside. People have gone and scribbled all this stuff on it, and they said it was the 8th to 10th century. So that was it's very old. They just said it was a couple of thousand years old. It's thousands. It was only the 9th to 10th century, sorry. Hang on, they said the 9th there. Didn't I say 8 before? Anyways, all right, I've had a lot of confusion this week. All right, so more interesting, however, is the wide range of topics that dealt with, covering all manner of things from love and jealousy to stormy weather and little-known customs of those times. They offer us the mirror wall. The wall takes its name from the belief that in the olden days it was polished to such a high sheen that it reflected the frescoes on the rock wall opposite. Beautiful. The plaster said to have been formed of crushed lime, egg white, and honey, and polished with beeswax, still survives along the graffiti our poets left us. Here are 6 such verses with a story with them. All right, they only seem short, so we'll just check out the short ones. I think I don't feel like reading them all today. All right, so we'll just get the English part.
Our friend the bee that we've talked so much about way back. I mean, we've been dependent on the bees longer than we realize, and it's heartbreaking to know that their population is declining.
Not in my yard. Hey, they're all coming to my house, Jules. All right, so we got a poem here. This lovely, hang on, I'll just scan through it so I don't butcher the words. Like a bee who has, you've been reading it already. Seen full-blown lotuses, the bewildered heart of mine was consoled. This lovely couplet shows that the Sinhalese of old were great poets, that not only had a wonderful sense of rhyme and metre, I didn't even read it how I read it, but also resorted to a poetic device we call play on words. Where's Polly when you need him? As we see in the combination of Hassan with Hassan, message with geese. Oh man, the poet's eagerness to hear from the lady love is compared to the bee's fascination for lotus blossoms, whose large petals provide it any easy landing pad to drink its nectar and frolic if it wishes. Okay, like geese who have seen a lake, I listened to the message given by her. Like a bee who has seen full-blown lotuses, the bewildered heart of mine was consoled. Well, you want to read the poetry there, Jules? It's all right. May you remain for 1,000 years, like the figure of the hare, the king of the gods painted on the orb of the moon, though that to my mind be like a single day. I'm going to read that again. May you remain for 1,000 years, like the figure of the hare, the king of the gods painted on the orb of the moon, thought that to my mind be like a single day. Wow. All right, I'll just go and read it. Like a loofah flower entangled in a blue clitoral flower, the golden complexioned one stood with the lily-coloured one will be remembered at eventide. Okay. They don't seem poetic to me, but it is an old version. So maybe because I spoke like that. You're giggling too. So am I. We're going to skip that one. Oh, people.
Sorry, I'm a juvenile. I had to.
Oh, did not the long-eyed one on the wall, the fair one, say to me, open your mouth and speak after having placed between the breast a blue necklet? Okay. Well, that one got a beep.
That one was a hit with the peanut gallery.
Yeah. Oh, should I be reading these things?
Where'd you source this from?
I don't know. It found me.
Well, then it's safe then if it found you.
All right. this look of yours from a corner of your eye has been recognized by us as that of a co-wife of you, whose hair laden with blue water lilies combed stylish drops down on your neck. Is that a okay? Okay. Oh, I don't know what to make of this. Oh, woman, wave your hands through there. Be none whose values this song. A man who has seen the young new moon of Bag should never be rejected. I need a translator. I don't understand none of this. I suppose we're supposed to read what's underneath to explain it, but this is just funny. I'll read that one again. Oh, woman, wave your hands, though there be none who values this song. A man who has seen the young new moon of Bag should never be rejected. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Yeah, these 6 poems that were written on the wall. Oh, my. All right. So there you go. They drew graffiti on the wall, and the wall was that shiny it actually reflected these pictures from the other side. It would have been beautiful. And they sound like very creative, loving people, like, you know. It was all about love and beauty from what I can see. Good on them. Look at their graffiti, much neater than ours. The 8th century. See, they set up there the 9th century. Now they're saying the 8th century. Yeah, you got to check your numbers, people. Check your numbers. Hey, we got Ron in the house. G'day, my brother. All right. So what else have I got on this subject? Hang on a minute. Just give me a second. We've got Praveen coming up yet. Oh, yeah, I have a little thing on what they say it was. I'll just find that. Like I said, today's a layback show because I've been running around and I didn't prepare properly. What's this one say? Okay. Here we are. This is what they reckon it is. It just tells you that it's 200 metres vertically from the flat plain. Line rock provides you with one of the most dramatic sights in Sri Lanka. On top of this rock contains ruins of an ancient place complex built during the reign of King Kasyapa, 477 AD to 495. He didn't live long. That wasn't long, 70, 80, no, it was only 20-something years, not even 20 years. What happened? What happened?
18.
Yeah, man. You're supposed to have rise and fall, not I'm in here for a couple of years renting that and then I'll be out. All right. Yeah, there's something not right about all of this, but that's okay. In one of the 7 World Heritage Sites is Sri Lanka. It's one of the most popular tourist destinations. Yeah, it's all touristy now, unfortunately. It's made of granite. Gee, isn't that hard rock? Ruins of various chambers, stairways, pools can be seen at the top of this. There is a stone stairway leading from the base to the top of the mountain. About halfway to the top, there is a giant pair of lion's paws. That's halfway up, okay, which is in fact remaining in the huge head of the lion whose open mouth served as the entrance to the royal palace. Surrounding the palace complex are the ruins of a garden complex consisting of 2 moats and various pools, some with water fountains still functioning after 15,000 years. Sigiriya may have been inhabited through prehistoric times. Oh, hang on a minute. They're telling us that guy was only in there for, 18 years, and now they're telling us that it was inhabited in prehistoric times. It was used as a rock shelter, mountain, monastery. Hang on, here comes from about the 3rd century BC, with caves prepared and donated by devotees to the Buddhist Sangha. I think there is a big Buddha in there. The garden and the place was built by Siapa 477 to 495. So what? Who lived there first? Him or the devotees?
I don't know.
Neither do I. I'd have to do the math on it, because it was the 3rd century, and then after Caspian's death, it was a monastery complex. They came at the 14th century. So it says the 3rd century, and then he's 400. Shouldn't it be 300? All right, I'm going to stop numbering.
I don't do maths. At
No,
late nights, I don't do maths.
All right, so it was there 14th century after it was abandoned. The ruins were discovered in 1907, and I bet you they weren't empty when they got there. They just kicked out the people that were already there, because that's what they normally do. And here we have a big overview of what it looks like. So ruins of the royal court. The ancient historical record of Sri Lanka describes King Kasyapa as the son of King Datusena, who murdered his father by walling him up alive, and then usurping the throne, which rightfully belonged to his brother Mogallan. Mogallan fled to India to escape being assassinated by Kasyapa, but vowed revenge. Well, that'll say, well, he was only in there for 18 years because he killed his dad and usurped the throne. In India, he raised an army with an intention of returning to retake the throne of Sri Lanka, which was rightfully his. Knowing the inevitable return of Mogallan, Kasyapa is said to have built his palace on the summit of Sigiriya as a fortress and pleasure palace. Mogallan has finally arrived, and in the battlefield, Kasyapa's armies abandoned him and he committed suicide. Whoa, by falling on his sword. It says sword. Look. Mogallan returned the capital back to Anurup, I won't say that, and turned Sigiriya to a monastery complex. So here's some more pictures. Yeah. Very interesting. See the one at the top on the left? That's actually a cobra snake. And the rock is hanging there because you can walk underneath it. It's actually just hanging there. So they've used some sort of technology to prop that rock up. And it would have been beautiful back in the day.
It seems like you could go back to the dawn of recorded history, and there's going to be some sort of serpent representation or symbol.
Seems that way. So, in 1907, a fellow named John observed that the whole face of the hill appears to have been a gigantic picture gallery, the largest picture in the world, perhaps. The paintings would have covered most of the western face of the rock, covering an area of 140 metres long and 40 metres high. Wow, that is. They were very artistic people. They are referenced in the graffiti to 500 ladies in these paintings. Wow. Wow. Sorry about the peanut gallery in the background. They're having lunch. What do we got here? It's qualified as the 8th wonder of the world. I hope you don't find it boring. I found it very interesting. So the controversial king and master builder wanted to own it and build himself a lofty palace atop the huge rock, rising 200 metres out of the flat, irrigated, dry zone landscape. Now, what I want to know is, why was the rock just there? What was the rock before it was a rock, is the question. Because there's no other rocks around there, just that one rock. Maybe it was the head of a snake. Who knows? And it got petrified into a rock. There's a question for you.
I mean, it could be. I mean, back then, everything was big.
We have an answer. I think that might be more the answer there, Ron, because it seems a lot older than what they're saying, and they're not telling you who inhabited it in between hand.
Yeah.
All right, where are we now? 1,500 years later, Sir Arthur C. Clarke mooted the idea that Sigiriya qualifies to be the 8th wonder of the world, ranked closely with the Great Wall of China and the Taj Mahal. The Wall of China, that's another mystery. Like, that was built to keep critters out, I reckon. Anyway, while there is no designated world authority to bestow this honour upon the Sigiriya, it still means it's attraction.
Or could it be built to keep critters in?
Yeah, that's a good question too. All right, so it just talks a bit more about that, about the heritage and all that of it. Okay, so we'll pop that one out. And I think we've got Mr. Praveen stuff now. I'll just have a look one moment. What I've lined up for you. Pardon me. Oh, too far. You should see my show material list. It is so long, it's longer than I am. All right. Great. Where's Mr. Praveen? Oh, yeah, I remember where he is, I think. Oh. Here we are. I think this is it. Oh, yes.
Hey, guys.
All right. So I'm going to say this so I don't get into trouble. This is Praveen Mohan. I'll promote him. Please go like and subscribe him. Watch all his stuff from the early stuff that he has to now. He's a very knowledgeable man, and he goes on site, boots on the ground, and explains everything to you. So just sit back and watch this, and I hope we don't get kicked out. If we do, I'll see you next week. No, I won't see you next week. I'm going away. So please enjoy, because he's going to explain it more to you. It goes for a little bit, only 10 minutes. So please enjoy this.
Today, we're going to look at a very strange structure known as lion's paws in Sigiriya. Sigiriya is a giant rock with a flat top. This place is also known as Ravana's Palace, located in Sri Lanka. When you start climbing Sigiriya, it's usually a series of stairs with almost no place to rest. But there's one flat area in between where people rest halfway before going to the top. This is a very interesting place because it shows something bizarre. Two giant paws of a strange animal. These are giant feet. I've not seen anything like this before. I mean, this is huge. You can see how small I look when compared to it. Each paw is at least 10 feet tall and 10 feet wide. I mean, it's impossible not to think of the giant legs of the Sphinx at the Great Pyramid of Giza. What's even more strange, Sri Lankans do refer to this as lion's paws or lion gate, which is similar to the modern Egyptians' claim that the Sphinx is also part lion. But are these really lion's paws? Look at the large nails. It's quite clear that this is not human. It looks like the claws of a fierce animal. The details are fantastic. There are two curves made where the nails meet the flesh at the end. If you look carefully, there is a little toe as well. So there are three bigger toes and one small toe in each leg. In Sri Lanka, they're popularly known as lion's paws or lion entrance because many experts claim that these toes belong to a lion. But this is absolutely wrong. These are not lion's paws. Lions do not have 4 toes, they have 5 toes. Other similar mammals like tigers also have 5 toes, not 4 toes. The ancient builders clearly showed 3 large toes and 1 small rudimentary toe or a pinky toe. So what animal do these toes belong to? Ancient reptiles had 4 toes. They mostly had 3 large toes and 1 small toe. Let's take dinosaurs, for example. You're looking at the toes of a T-Rex. He has four toes, three large ones and one tiny one. Look at the similarity. Pay attention to the rough scales on his ankle. The ancient builders have even tried to show the scales in Syria. Look at the wavy lines made on the structures as well. These represent scales. This definitely represents an ancient reptile. What is that powerful reptile? None other than Ravana himself. Now, Ravana is said to be the greatest king of Sri Lanka, so great that Sri Lanka's first satellite was named Ravana. Sigiriya is also known as Ravana's palace. But how can Ravana be a reptilian? How can he have legs like this? But when we look at ancient texts, strange details start to appear. First, Ravana was not fully human, only his father was human. His mother was a completely different species, perhaps a reptilian. When Ravana was born, he had the qualities of a hybrid species. In the Western world, these hybrids are called Nephilim. In some ways, he was human. In other ways, he was not human, he was superhuman. For example, it's well known that he was a giant. He was about 10 feet tall. But Ravana showed other reptilian characteristics. He was capable of shape shifting. He could modify his appearance and deceive others. He could also become invisible by blending with the environment, like a modern day chameleon. The Thai text Ramakien mentions that Ravana's skin was green like a chameleon. Human skin cannot be green. He definitely had reptilian blood in him. In Sri Lanka, several reptiles are named after Ravana. For example, this snake is called Ravanage medilla and even has the scientific name Apsidura ravanae after King Ravana because of his reptilian descent. During my travels in Sri Lanka, I saw many snake charmers who considered themselves as descendants of Ravana, and they say Ravana was born with Naga ancestry. Today, we think the word Naga only means snake, but these charmers say that their original ancestors were humanoid with 2 feet and 2 arms, but also had strange powers like shape shifting and can even become invisible. The Nagas simply used cobra as their symbol because the cobra was an easily recognizable reptile due to its inflating or flaring hood. They believed that their reptilian ancestors disappeared underground and promised to return someday. Initially, I thought this was just local folklore, but it's recorded both in ancient Tamil texts and Sinhala texts that Nagas were the original inhabitants of Sri Lanka. This is why during ancient times, Sri Lanka was sometimes referred to as Nagadeepa, and ancient Greeks also called it Nagadibois. In Sigiriya, there is more evidence related to reptilians. There is an unbelievable structure known as Cobra Hood Cave. This is fantastic because it's a giant rock which is shaped like a cobra with its inflated hood. It's impossible to have this kind of a curve naturally, but this is not the only curve. It also has yet another curve at the bottom. In fact, no one knows how it's still standing. If you look at the center of gravity of this rock, it should have fallen down, but amazingly, it's still standing as though we're using some anti gravity technique. Of course, you may think this is all completely natural, and locals gave a name for this. But that's not true because if you look carefully, you can see the remains of some ancient paintings on this Cobra Hood Cave. This is very tall, guys, so I have tried my best with my zoom camera. I can tell these are amazing paintings, but I cannot understand what they are showing because most of them are destroyed. While locals maintain that this was a giant Naga idol worshipped by Ravana, archaeologists completely deny that Ravana ever existed, and they maintain that this place was used by a king called Kashyapa around 500 AD. But they also found an inscription dated much before his time, around 2nd century BC, which says that the Cobra Hood rock originally belonged to a king called Nagulia. So we do have strong evidence of Naga or reptilian connection in the Sigiriya complex itself. Now, even if you doubt that Ravana ever existed, if he had reptilian features and you classify all ancient texts as mirror mythology, you still have to agree that maybe human sculptors imagined Ravana's feet and depicted them here, because these are definitely not lion's paws or tiger paws or something like that. See, the thing is, Sigiriya is the most underrated ancient site in the world. When you explore this place, you realize that reality can surpass your imagination. And as extraordinary as this place is, it's never been studied properly by experts. For example, some claim these paws are made of granite, but they cannot be. They're made of simpler materials like brick and clay and then coated with lime mortar. This is why they look white. If you observe carefully, you can see the bricks at the base revealing themselves. Similarly, archaeologists are of the opinion that this was built in 5th century AD, roughly about 1,600 years ago. That's quite ancient. But in reality, these structures could be much, much older, taking us back to the time of Ravana's rule in Sri Lanka. Like this, there are many, many mysteries hidden in Sigiriya. So, what do you think? Are these Ravana's feet or are these lion's paws?
There you go. Hope that explained it more to you. Suspicions are there was a lizard people. See, they're around everywhere. I'd love them. Oh yeah, I'll probably do a show on lizard people eventually. I like that. All right. So, what do you think of that, Jules? That answered all our questions.
That was very interesting.
And I'd rather believe that because I know it's from him, and he goes there and he checks it out and he knows his own history of his own country and stuff like that. So it'd be like me telling you something about Aboriginal stuff. You're more likely to believe me than something written in a magazine or something like that. So I hope you would anyway. So there you go. I found that really interesting. If I had money and I could travel the world, that's one of the places I'd go and see. And I'd be looking for the hidden doors that they've cemented up, because I know I watched another video. Oh, this is ages ago. Most of the stuff I present to you, I've actually researched it years and years and years ago, in the days when the internet was free. But back then I never knew how to save anything. And what I do now is go re-hunting for the things that I remembered I found way, 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 way back then. And I was, when I was young. Anyway.
Yeah, the internet is not what it used to be.
No, it's not the internet now. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying that. Anyways, all right. So go and grab yourself a cup of tea. We can come into the part of the show. Is it real or is it not real? Is that fake or is it true? I've got a whole heap of little things here that I found the other day that I found interesting. And we'll have a look at them.
Cool.
The first one I found, I'm going to play the first one I found. Yeah, this spun me out, and this is what got me into just looking for all crazy stuff just for the end of the show, because I didn't have not much come upon me this week. I was busy doing normal human stuff. So what have we
Same
got
here. Same
You
old
can-
boring routine.
Yep. The grindstone. The grindstone. Here, check this out, people. I watched it. I'm going to play it twice. You need to see it twice.
When a box packaging robot makes a critical error, and what follows will send shivers down your spine. Watch this. This scary video captures the moment when a box packaging robot makes a critical error, and what follows will send shivers down your spine. Watch this.
Look, see there? Like, talk about the daily grind. I think the robot has had enough. Hey, that's what it looked like to me. The robot got to work. What amazed me though, here, I'll just keep playing it in the background while we talk. Now, see, he drops the box. See how he noticed he dropped the box? The other one went, what the fuck's going on now? And now he just got the shit. You ruined my day. You.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice when that started the date. That video is
Old.
20 years old.
Yes. Now, I looked at it and I went, wow, imagine, because 20 years ago, technology skyrocketed, right? Yeah, it spun me out. Look at it. He hisses at him. He opens his things and goes, hey, imagine if he had legs. He'd be running around the factory smashing everyone except the guy riding the... That's what got me.
T3000 comes to life.
Yeah. When he dropped the box and he went, oh, and he noticed he dropped the box. That's what spun me out. And then Speedy got angry. So one's got a bit of temperament than the other. But that tells me that they got some sort of intelligence. And when that happens, you have to give respect to a being with intelligence. Look at him hiss, man. See, he goes shh, like a... Man, I could watch that over and over and over and over again. That, yeah, and that's old, like you said, Jules. What else have I got for you? Interesting stuff. Hang on, just let me have a look.
I mean, for it to be resurfacing now, could this be like part of some video movie clip that somebody's released?
Could be. I just want to read it. Sean put a comment here. Aren't the lizard people part of the Orion group that was at war with the Palladians? I think so. And that's probably why I'm at conflict. I'm always in conflict of myself. You can figure that out for yourself. All right, so what else have I got to you? There was a rumor going around that 4 robots killed 29 humans in Japan. After watching this, I actually believe that would be true. And they had to lock one of them up.
You do have a point there. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, I haven't got, they're just news clips of saying it. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Right, remember, this is true or false time. I reckon the video we're watching there, that's true, man. Like, obviously, that was 20 years ago. And the only other thing I could think that made that not true, the robots going off, is that somewhere behind in an office are 2 people controlling those robots, and one of them had a bad day. But I doubt that. Why would you have a robot if you've got 2 people stuck in an office controlling them? It doesn't make sense. So, yeah, 4 robots killed 29 humans. What have we got? Human robot. Oh, yeah, we've got a human robot. Hang on. Hang on, I'll just click through these because I don't know what I've got. I've got so much stuff here. Oh, yes.
This is a Tesla robot. This is super secret.
Prototype to try out. It's a little dinged up.
She's so nervous.
So don't mind the scratches and stuff. But yeah, comment down below. Let me know what you.
This is actually
Comment
scary.
down below what you want me to test with this thing.
Would you want
and
a
I will
robot?
Get to it. I'll make a video.
Ooh, let's watch that again. Is that real, folks, or what? You mob out there, what do you reckon? Put in an R for real and an F for false. If you see something, just let me know what you think, because that's what I got these up for. That kind of looks real, kind of, but you never know. It could be someone in a suit, right?
Well, if it's somebody in the suit, it's a product of the agenda that's being pushed now.
Because a Tesla, they said it's a Tesla robot. False.
If it definitely looks feminine, but it looks masculine too.
Hey, Polly, welcome. Here, I'm going to pop this in the thing. Oh. Hang on. All right, so I thought it was kind of false because
it's a person.
Yeah, because of the way he was moving, right? I was like, so he's trying to be robotic as he stepped in. That doesn't look like a robot, and he's looking. It looked like a person in a suit. Looked like a person in a suit to me. All right, what have I got for you next? Let's have a look. So that was an F for fake. That one's fake. Everyone agreed. I've popped the address in there, Polly, if you want to jump in or anyone. And we can just laugh at these things together. What do we got now? Human robot, engineered art, UK-based humanoid entertainment robot. Oh, yeah, we got this one. This guy gets peeved off. I got it more on him. Look, he doesn't like the fact that someone's encroaching on his. Check it out. He even grabs her arm. See that? Get away from me. And the facial changes. Right, so what we're looking at is something that's very much like ourselves there. And very much like ourselves mean, can I trust you 100% that you're not going to get angry or something, you know, and try to hurt me? We know that's real, right? So there's no R or F on this one because we know it's real. That's technology for today. I think I got more on that one. I'll just have a look. I'm supposed to have all this prepared and ready to go. Because in those shows that you see on TV, they go, I just prepared one earlier. Well, I prepared nothing earlier. I've just got to go film. All right. What have we got? Oh, here's one. We're totally on a different subject. All these are higgledy-piggledy, by the way, because as I found them, I just clicked them up. So we're going, this is my area. We're going to the moon. I don't know what we've got here. What have we got here? Okay, we're back to real or false. Oh, this is just something funny. Here, this is something funny. Check it out.
Grabe, mangisa.
Mana
niya zoom?
To the cameras. And who's
kuyawa na ba eh. Hindi daw, lago daw. Lo. Lo, bitaw boy.
This isn't too bad.
Hinduto na ba eh.
He's got
Kini daw si Randall. Ala, grabe ka zoom. Ba na Randall eh.
Phone's better.
Morag na zoom. Kini daw, just daw. Ala, grabe.
He's got the better phone.
Grabe.
Hey, that was funny. He's got the better phone. Yeah, there you go. There was that one. For your entertainment. I hope you find that funny. What do we got now? Yeah, I cracked up when I saw that one. I thought, oh, here we go. This is something real good, and then I realised
that one was pretty funny. I didn't see that one coming.
All right, what have I got here? Some of them might be crappy. Oh, this is a funny one. That's what happened when we landed on the moon. The big dude come out and smashed them.
Purple people eater.
Oh, dear. Hey, you notice when it's the last show, I always make it funny for some reason because I'll be away next week. I like to leave you with a laugh. All right, so we got some more real and fake stuff coming up, I think. What have I got exploding? Oh, no. All right, we've got some... Oh, I had one where they found something on the moon. Hang on, I've just got to find. Try this one. I don't know. We're just looking at them. Oh, some of them are a bit, how you going? There was one, they found buildings on the moon. I don't know whether it was on the moon or somewhere else, right? But they found, and there's a video of what they found on the moon. That's what I'm looking for. Here it is.
That I believe.
Oh no, this is an asteroid. That one, all right. Check this out. As the asteroid hits the moon, something comes from the left-hand side and hits it. Watch this. Watch real close, people. All right, see it's coming down, bang. Can you see that thing come from the side and go whack? Straight out, knocks it out. So it blew it up before it got there. I'll do it one more time. See, it's coming down, bang. Hang on, I'll make it full screen. And is this true? Is that real or fake? Like, can someone, what do you reckon? That was quick. See how it just hit him from the side? Do you reckon that's real or fake, people? Is that just CGI or whatever? Or was that a real craft and they knocked it out? Someone blew it out as it came down.
I mean, size-wise, it looks appropriate, but I remain on the fence because AI is vastly come a long way since we landed on the moon.
Well, here we are. This is the one. This is the footage they reckon they found. Sorry if it's not big enough. These buildings, these structures that they found. Do you reckon that's fake? So we got fake for the last one. Do you reckon this one's fake? Yeah, the explosion was too round, yeah. We would have noticed it. Look at that, that's a door.
Yeah, that's fake.
I think that's somewhere else. I think they went and found, you know how I always go on about extra land?
Yeah.
All right, what else have I got for you? I seen that.
It just looks like the guy at the end, he looks like he's got too much gravity for that to be on the moon.
Yeah, they reckon the moon landing was fake anyway. But that particular little clip, I actually, like ages and ages and ages ago when I was telling you, when I was younger looking around, I saw the whole video on that. And basically what it is buildings that look like all the glass was blown out of them, and there was just structures left behind, and it was big and there were lots of them, and in the distance was still one with the glass because it looked like a crystalline kind of structure, and it was in the distance, but they only showed you that one, and that was the full video. I can't find it now. I only found that. But in the full one, yeah, they went off into the distance and there was some sort of crystalline structured pointy building in the background. So whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's up to you if you think it's real or not. All right, what else have I got for you? We've got some UFO stuff. Let's have a look at this one. What is it? Oh, here we are. Tell me if you think it's real or fake, people. Put an R for real and an F for fake. See that little dot on the top of the moon? That's supposed to be a craft. Hey, what? I had a question for you. Now we're looking at this. See how we just zoomed in and you can see everything on there?
Mm-hmm.
Which means we can go out with our phone and zoom into the moon and see everything on there.
My phone won't do that.
How come his phone does it? Does anyone's phone do that? Oh, that's the only thing I thought, hang on, is that real? Because that's pretty close to the moon. Like, has he got one of them proper lunar, you know? Well, I'm bad for words today too, because the cold makes you funny. I should be sleeping. I should be hibernating. All right, what do we got next? Oh, Polly's camera does that. Polly, Man, if your camera does that, you've got to just give us some footage, bro. Because we want to have a look. I want to have a good close-up look of that place. All right, what do we got here? Oh, this is all right. Look at this. Is this real or fake, people? All of a sudden, there's a dark, long shadow. Like, what's going on? Is he sucking up water there or what? We'll play it again. Is that real or fake? Whoa, there he goes. Oh, King's telling us there's a Tesla tower that used to power the Nazis on the moon. Now that would explain that crystalline thing in the background, yeah. Thanks, King. All right, what else have I got for you? Did you see that one? That kind of looked real, but I don't know what the dark thing was. It looked like he was sucking up water or something. Who knows? What have I got with you now? I don't know what these are. Was it that one? Oh yeah, what's this? Oh, this one. All right, so the story goes, he was out with his dog. If you read it, it'll tell you what it's all about. And I got the sound turned off. So this fellow was out with his dog. There was an alien ship, which you'll see in a minute, and there was this being, and the dog attacked him, and he killed his dog. So he hit him over the head with a stick, and his skull's hanging out. Now this is another video I saw a long time ago, but they had follow-up. So I'm going to tell you what the old videos were. So this is where he first found him, but in the old ones, he put him in the freezer, the big box freezers. He had him wrapped up in that silver thing, one of those silver things, and put him in the freezer, and he pulled him out and he was still alive. And he had him there for quite a few days, and he was actually getting better. What he did by putting him in the freezer, because it was cold, slowed the rate down, and the alien actually started to heal. And he started talking to him, and he arranged for his mates to come and get him. So the guy healed, and he felt really bad for hitting him on the head once he started speaking. To find that footage and that, I can't find it anymore. If I went deep dark diving, I probably could, but there's ugly stuff in there as well. But that's the behind story to this vid, what you're watching now. So there he is wrapped up, but they don't show you that he put him in the freezer and he had him there for a couple of days, right? So there he is, see his eyes blinking? So I don't know if it's real or fake, but that was the backstory. There was all these other vids to follow this one where he'd taken him out of the freezer and his head started healing. See, look at him. He's got a little face. He's blinking. And he says in the old videos he didn't know what to use to fix him because he was a different kind of critter, right? And when he put him in the freezer, he thought he was dead. That's why he put him in the freezer. But then when he checked on him and realised that the freezer was actually helping him, so he did the right thing anyway. Hey, meow. That's not from the video. That's the cat.
Sorry, I've been colonized.
Yeah, there's his head. See, you'll see the flap. So he sticks the flap back up on him and wraps him up. This must have been when he took him out to check on him. And he's being gentle. He felt really bad about what he did. But, you know, I don't know. Did phones have videos back then? Probably not. I don't know. Make your own mind up. Real or fake? RF?
My phone didn't. I remember my first mobile phone was a
They would have had little, sorry.
97. It was just basic there. You could call and that's it.
And I remember this too, when it came out. The guy was filming, you can actually see the beings in the craft. This is old. if I could go back in time for half an hour, like I said before, another thing I'd do is go back, get all those videos I watched years ago. Now I know how to save them and bring them all back to show you. These are the beans I found in the craft. I'll watch that one again. This was in Mexico or something, I think. I don't know, might tell you on there. But it was 2008. I remember that coming out. And he zooms in. And then you see his little critters in there. All right, I think I'm nearly at the end of my list to show you what's happening. Ah, this one. All right, these next ones, real or fake? I think this one's a bit F. It's a bit effed. Lizard creatures caught on camera. Something told me that's from a game. I'm not a gamer, but I know that they can take things from games and put them over. And when I seen it was in the snow, I thought, hang on a minute, lizard people don't like the cold.
This video is rated F.
Might find them on Rumble, yeah. It takes time researching. But yeah, I'm like, oh, this is from a home. This is funny, man. Here,
What the fuck? He's gonna bite my face.
Bite his finger, it won't hurt if you watch it again. So these young fellas are in the bush.
What the fuck?
Hungry.
He's gonna bite my face.
Growing up, I grew up with them lizards. Blue tongues and them.
Gone wild.
They'd run around our house like cats. Okay, what have we got here? Wasn't that? That was always.
What the
Oh, this is another one.
Get back here, mate.
Thanks for making it.
You ain't
You
going
kind of now see the difference.
nowhere.
He caught him. First the human was scared, now the lizard's scared. Yeah, they won't hurt you. Like I said, I grew up with them.
Get back here, mate.
You like a colour of the white shirt.
You ain't going
He's a light coloured one.
nowhere.
He's trying to make himself look bigger. Like that robot did. All right, what else have I got? We're coming to the end of my list now. Oh, yeah, check this out. It's like you come over to visit me and I'm showing you all the stuff I found.
Fry an egg on a coal stove. It's no trick at all if you have the right equipment. This is a cold hot plate. And because it's cold, you can make it out of wood, if you like. Just be sure that there's a coil of wire inside and that you connect that coil to a high voltage alternating current source. The rest is easy. As long as we're being different, we'll use motor oil instead of Crisco. The egg fries very quickly, but the stove remains perfectly cold. In fact, if you wish to keep it handy, you can fry your egg on the morning newspaper. With a gadget like this, you can get up in the morning, sit on the stove, read the morning newspaper, and fry the eggs in your lap.
There you go. Hang on. And that's all I got for you, people. Oops, in the wrong place. One moment, people. I'm trying to get up. I'm trying to put the fire up for us. Oh, where is it?
Yeah, I'm cozy around the campfire.
Yeah, I need one. It's cold here. I'm just firing up the fire. Give me a moment, people. There we go. Here it is. Where is it? I've got to share it. Hang on. I'll just share the fire with you because it's freezing here. I know it's not cold over there. It's coming nice, eh? You're coming into
Yeah, pool. My pool opens up
spring
this weekend.
So there you go, people. That's all I got for you this week. Now I will put my face back up there so you're not talking to the fire. But talking to the fire is a good thing. You can sit there for hours and it'll amuse you. Yeah, so that was my interesting week. What I've found stuff out. What do you think, Jules? Where are you?
I'm right here. It was very interesting.
I hope you found it interesting.
I'm always interested in alien tech and reptilians and UFOs and how it all ties in with spirituality and consciousness and everything in between. How can I not like it?
Yeah, true. Same. Yeah, so I won't be here next week. I'm going away and I'll probably be gone for 2 weeks. Unless I can figure out how to use technology where I'm going, yeah, I won't really be here. So, and you never know, I might get blessed by the technology God and figure it all out. You never know. Not that I believe in the technology God, mind you. Just figure of speech. Yeah, so that was the week with Lena. The interesting things I found. I had a good week. I went to a lovely luncheon for our elders, which included me, obviously. We had a beautiful lunch, got presents, and were serenaded through the whole lunch. And when I come back, I've actually got a video. I want to show you this fella. He's a young fella, but if you shut your eyes and you just listen, he sounds like an old man from the old days, singing really well from the old days. And then you look at him. Yeah, and he just said he loves that kind of singing and he loves the songs. I just got to get that from my phone into the computer so I can show you next time I come back. Nice young Aboriginal man. Sings like an old-fashioned fella. Yeah, it was beautiful. We had fun. And the aunties got me up dancing. So I just laughed.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I had a good time, had a good week.
I laughed Thursday morning when I injured myself.
I'm glad you laughed and you didn't cry.
Oh, I wanted to cry because it hurt, but no tears.
Yowie yowie. But you still look all right, don't worry, even though you've got a bit of a bruise on the side of your face. I'll tell you the story about when I got a black eye. This is funny. So we'll play, as you know, I had heaps of kids, and this is back when they were all young, and we'll play in pillow fights. But the youngest of all the children, when she picked up the pillow and put it behind her, it made her fall over because she was only little. So she decided to pick up something smaller. And she picked up a steel stamper, what you use to cut out little shapes. It's a little square stamp thing about this big. And she threw it and hit me in the corner of the eye. Now, I knew she didn't mean to because the pillow was making her fall over. That was, we're all having fun. And I just covered my eye. And I actually was only going, oh, no, I'm going to have a big scar there now, which I have. But I didn't go off at her or anything. I had instincts because when something hits you, you got an instinct to get up like this, right? That was my first instinct. Then I'm like, hey, remember where I am. So I remembered where I was, and it was a pillow fight. Just covered my eye, had a big scar, and the eye in the next couple of days just got blacker and blacker and blacker, right? So it was pretty bad looking. Meanwhile, I'd arranged to go and visit one of my friends who was in jail at this time, and I had to go in there with a black eye, and I'm thinking, so I put my sunnies on, and it was winter time, and I got a black leather fringe jacket. I had that on. So I looked kind of sus. I didn't realise till I got in there and all the security guards or wardens, or we call them screws here, right? They were all looking at me and they were real sus, like I was going to make this deal with my friend or something was going on. And they were watching me from every corner of the place and I could feel it and I was getting really uncomfortable. And we're sitting there talking. So I decided to rip my sunnies off. So I ripped my sunnies off and I put them on the table. And the next thing, the whole room, you heard, oh, they all felt sorry for me all of a sudden, because one minute they thought I was sus and I was gonna make some trouble because I had my sunnies on. Then when I took them off and they realised they had black eye, they all realised and felt sorry for me and went, oh, like that. And I was laughing. And then my friend goes, how'd you get the black eye, Luna? I'm like, well, I'd like to tell you that I was in a fight and that I come out the better, but that's not true. I mean, your little 3-year-old daughter did it, and everyone just fell on the floor laughing. And I had to sport that black eye for nearly 2 weeks because it was pretty bad because of where it hit me. Yeah, so that's the story of my one and only black eye I ever had.
I've had a black eye, kind of similar circumstance. It was years ago. I used to work in the sporting goods department at Kmart. And in our department, it was fairly larger for a department store. So we had a sign hanging from the ceiling that had all the advertised dates that were coming up for the upcoming hunting seasons. And we had one incredibly tall kid working, and he had a golf club balanced on his fingertip, and he's like, "Hey, look what I can do." So he hit his golf club, hits the sign come crashing down. I'm looking up at the sign and the corner of it hits my eye and cuts my eye, but I get a black eye. For 3 weeks I sported this black eye. And I still have the scar underneath my eye.
Where is it your left or your right?
Where it gouged some skin.
Ooh. Is it your left or your right eye?
My right.
We can be partners. I'll tell you another funny story about, this is so funny. So, all right, so years ago, we're out camping. We're all Aboriginal people, right? So all the women are in one tent, all the men are the men in the tent. The men are in the tent next to us. There's a story about that, but I can't tell you online. That was the actual most funniest part. Anyway, so we're all sitting in a circle, us women in our big tent. And we're all yarning up. Now, one of the aunties had a glass eye, and so she could only see out of one eye. And the lady sitting next to her, she had an accident when we got there, and one of the things out of the fire burned her eye. So she had a patch on one eye, and the other auntie had a glass eye. Now, this was all unspoken, so there was nothing said. There was just a lot of laughter. And we're in a circle, and it was time for us. We had to get up and go. Now, as we stood up, these two women were sitting next to each other, right? And their good eyes were on the outside. And as we stood up, we all looked at them, and they looked at us, and we all thought the same thing at the same time. Here they are, standing side by side. They've got one good eye on each side. They'll be okay. No one has to help them. And it was like we read them. It was like telepathy, right, which is normal for us mob. And we were standing up just laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing. And we were laughing that much that the fellas in the tent next to us got cranky and whacked our tent and told us to shut up, which made us laugh more because they didn't see what was happening. These two aunties standing up with their eyes that they couldn't see, holding on to each other so they could walk out the tent and walk out in the bush with no problem. It was so funny. Talking about eyes, yeah.
Talk about the blind leading the blind.
It was, and but no one said nothing because we all knew what was going on, us girls, right? We all knew. We just started laughing from the moment someone said we got to go, and as we started standing up, we just started laughing really bad. And there were like 10 of us, so it was a big, loud laughing up, right? But what made it even funnier is that the men next door got cranky because we were laughing. They wanted to laugh too, but they had to wait for something. I'll just leave it at that. So, yeah. So anyway, That's all I got for this week. What about you, Jules? You got any more funny stories before we go?
No, I mean, the funniest thing that happened was just sheer clumsiness and bruising myself.
Hence,
If I was any, I mean, it's a good thing that I wasn't any taller, or I would be at the dentist probably right now.
True. Yeah. See, sometimes it's good to be small. Sometimes it's good to be small. All right, people, that's all I got. I'll leave you with a what have I got up here? I had another dance for you. I can't find it. Wait a minute. I'll just find another some music to go out on. Da 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 da, and I can't find it. So I'm going to put the same one on again because it's worth watching. And hopefully next time when I come back, I'll be more prepared and I won't be off running around town before I do a show. All right, people. So
Before we do it, you'll be doing a show off your bike.
Oh my, that'll be something. Hey, talking about riding, I froze this week. Algo told me that you can get a converter and it tells you what the temperature is going to be when you get on the bike. Well, I got it and I had to go out this week and I felt like an icicle pop by the time I got off. Solid block of ice. And I was riding around in cold temperature. But that's life. You got to do it sometime.
I know adulting sucks.
It does sometimes.
I do it several times a week.
I know, but you're in a car. You got a bubble around you.
No, I mean, yeah, but I drive to a job where I have to deal with people.
True.
And it's not that I don't mind dealing with people. Some people are more nicer than others.
True. That's true. And all I can say is, people, keep on being nice. We need more niceness. Keep on being nice. Have a good week. And I'll see you next time we come back. Thank you, Jules, for joining me again.
My pleasure.
Thank you, everyone in the chat room. Thank you, everyone who's watching this
everyone.
and who's not in the chat room. And yeah, loved you on this day. Creator loves you. Stay strong, stay centered, be nice. Yalu, we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll be going out on this. So see ya, Yalu.
Yalu.
Oh, we need sound.